hose, and that hose slid off pretty easily on that end, and there's the filter. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to replace a transmission fluid filter on a 2012 Honda Civic. This is a 1.8 liter, and this is going to be 9th generation Honda Civic, pretty much standard stuff. Before we get started, safety glasses, always a good idea, so get you a pair of them. Gloves is always a good idea too. First thing we have to do is take off this Airbox assembly so we can get down to the fluid filter. And before we get too much further, I did a detailed video on how to replace the transmission fluid in this car, the 9th generation Honda Civic. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to it right up here in the corner somewhere. That might help you out. So the first thing we have to do is remove the wiring harness on our mass airflow sensor. And let me see if I can show you with my mirror here what I'll be doing. I'm going to be pressing with my finger on that tab right there, and I'm going to be pulling the harness back towards the back of the car as I press that tab down with my finger. And there's not much room to work here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press down with my finger on that tab, kind of feel it pop. Now I'm going to take my screwdriver. I'm just going to kind of push that wiring harness off. And then it should wiggle right off. There it goes. So the next thing we have to do is we have to free this little wiring harness clip that holds the mass airflow sensor wiring harness in place. And that's just as simple as pressing in these little tabs with my screwdriver and pulling towards the passenger side of the car. And you gotta wiggle it, and it's gonna fight you. And come right to the other side of the clip. Work on that side a little bit. There we go. You just gotta hold your mouth just right sometimes. Okay, now with our wiring harness removed and out of the way, we have to take out two 10mm bolts, one there and one right there. Sometimes a magnet comes in mighty handy. Next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and disconnect this hose right here. Alright, now that's out of the way. And the next thing to do is loosen this clamp right here on the intake hose. And you're going to need either a Phillips head screwdriver or a 5.5mm socket. I find it's easier to use the socket because it's hard to get a screwdriver in there. I don't have one quite that short. Okay, and now that we got that hose off, here's a little trick. Take that clamp and tighten it back down. And the reason I'm doing that is because if not, it's going to try to jump back on that airbox while I'm wiggling it around. So running this clamp back down will prevent that from happening. You'll have enough challenge trying to get this airbox off as it is without this air hose trying to jump back on that flange. So the only thing holding this airbox on now is a peg on the back. We just have to pull the airbox straight up, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge. You just got to try to get your hand underneath of it and just give it a swift pull. There we go. And then it'll come right out. So now you can get a little bit clearer picture on what I was fighting here. The grommet, which was supposed to stay in that airbox, actually come off and stayed on that peg. So I'll just get a little WD-40 and spread around that grommet and see if I can pull it off. Okay, that's what was fighting me. I'll just stick that right back where it's supposed to go. Okay, so now we got the airbox out of the way. You can see our transmission fluid filter right there, at least the end of it. There's a clamp right there we're going to have to take off. It's just a spring clamp. I'll be putting a pair of pliers on there, squeezing it and pulling it up down the hose. And there's one on the other end of the filter too that you can't see very well. A little tight down there, but it's doable. I'm going to take a bunch of rags and shove down there underneath the assembly because you're going to get some transmission fluid to come out when you take the hoses off. It's inevitable. So I'm just going to shove some rags down there to catch what I can. And I've got a rag position up here on top as well because I'm going to start with my upper hose. And a regular old pair of pliers will work just fine. Just going to squeeze my spring clamp together and slide that clamp right on back. Alright, just like that. Now I'm going to take a pair of pliers, come down here and just grab a hold of my hose and just give it a twist, and that'll break it loose from the nipple on the end of that filter. Looks like it's pretty loose as it is. It's not seized on, so that's good. So once you've given the hose a good twist with your pliers, then it should pull off relatively easy. You can get your rag in position in case you get a little spillage here, which we probably will. And there we go. Okay, getting a little spillage there, but not too bad. And I'm just going to kind of angle that hose up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to move this out of the way so I can get down to the bottom part of the filter. Now, removing the clamp from the bottom part of the filter is going to be almost impossible for me to show you on the camera, so I'm just going to do it, and I'll just show you where I'm at after I'm done. And one thing I'll show you as well before I switch the camera off to do the bottom part of the filter is I need to take that 10mm bolt out right there. That's the bracket that holds the filter in place. Okay, then the top part of that bracket just comes right off. Okay, so now I'll get to the bottom part of the filter and get that clamp off down there and then pull the filter out. Okay, now that clamp is compressed and slid down the hose, and that hose slid off pretty easily on that end, and there's the filter. Not much spillage out of the end of this filter, so that was a pleasant surprise. Now remember which way that your filter is oriented, because you're going to need to know that when it's time to put on the new filter. And just coming down here, I'll show you what my setup looks like. I used a pair of vice grips to clamp that spring clamp, and it's actually holding tension as we speak. I had just enough room to use a pair of vice grips down here, and it works perfectly in this situation. So it'll be right ready for me when I want to slide the new filter in, and then I'll run that clamp back up to the top of the hose, release the vice grips, and we'll be golden. Okay, so now it's time to install my new filter. This is an OEM filter that I got. I'll leave a link to it down below so you can pick one up if you'd like. It's identical to the original filter in every way. From end to end, it's the same length. The diameter of the filter is exactly the same. The diameter of the inlets and the outlets are the same, which is very important. Now remember what I told you. You need to remember which way that it's oriented. This is the way it come out, so this is the way it needs to go back in. And it's mainly because the band clamp that goes around it and holds it in, it has to go right around that arc just right. So if you have it flipped around the other way, obviously that's not going to work. So we just pull our caps off, and then it's right ready to go on. Okay, we're going to put it on in reverse order. Again, it's hard for me to show you this. I'm just inserting the inlet into that hose that I showed you a moment ago. It's sticking up in the air. If you find it hard to slide in, you could just put a little bit of oil on the inlet and it'll slide right in. That went in just fine. And you'll find it's going to be easier to put your hose on first and run your clamp back up before you bracket it down. So that little tidbit might save you some headache. I know you can't see this, but I'm just running my clamp back up in place. And I've got just enough room I can see what I'm doing here, right underneath the throttle body. I got a little window I can look. And I got my clamp where I want it, and I release my vice grips. Okay, so now you can see that clamp is back in place, and now it's time to just fasten my filter back to the bracket. Okay, I got my clamp back into position, and just FYI, I had to take the band clamp off of the filter, hinge it in the back part of the bracket, put the filter back in place, and then set the bracket back down on this end where the bolt is. That was easier. Okay, 10mm, just snug that up real good, but not too tight. All right, and that should do it. And then it's just a matter of putting my hose back on the filter on this end. Okay, it slides right on. And then it's just as simple as running my clamp down back into place. Alright, all it is to it. Okay, there's a small window I can show you what that clamp looks like. Run back up. You don't want to slide it all the way to the end of that hose. You want to kind of center it the best you can. And what I mean when I say center it is looking at the old filter here. You want that clamp to be somewhere right in there. You definitely do not want that clamp to be riding close to the end where it's going to be on top of that nipple, because that'll create a leak for sure. Okay, so with the new filter installed, all we have to do now is put our Airbox assembly back into place. Before I do, I want to make one small note about this air intake hose. On the 9th generation Honda Civics, 2012 through 2015, they're in that range. These air intake hoses are bad for cracking and splitting and being compromised. So if you have any suspicion at all that your air intake hose here is not sealing well because of a crack or it's deformed or for any reason at all, while you're right here, it's a good idea to replace it. And as I'm sitting here looking at mine, I do indeed have a little crack forming right here in one of these ridges, so I am going to be replacing this one. I've got one ordered and it'll be here in a few days, and I'll just go ahead and slap it on then, and I'll make a separate video about that as well. And when it's live, I'll have a link to it somewhere up here where you can check it out if you like. But while you're at this stage in the game, if this hose has never been replaced before, 100%, just go ahead and order one and put it on, because you're right here at it. And these hoses are literally somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks or even less. And I'll even leave a link down below to this particular intake hose so you can pick one up if you need to. Alright, so let's get on with putting our Airbox back into place. Remember, this grommet right here needs to go on that peg right over there. And I've put another little coating of WD-40 on there, so next time I have to take this off, it won't be so bad. Okay, and you're not going to be able to see behind the box, so best way I can tell you when you know you're sitting on top of that peg is when your front hole lines up with the threads on this end. You'll know you're pretty much there, so just push down on it and see if you're in the vicinity. And you should feel it just kind of pop into place. There we go. Okay, then it's all about lining our bolt holes up. I'm going to use my magnet to put this one into place on this side. And 10 millimeter. And just snug it up. Don't have to be super tight. Okay, we're going to slide our air intake hose back into position. And then tighten that band clamp back down, 5.5 millimeter. Okay, nice and snug, but not too tight. Of course, you need to do a quick inspection and make sure that it is square on that inlet all the way around. And run your handle on the back and make sure that it's not cockeyed on that Airbox fitting. And put on our front ductwork here. Okay, and reattach our mass airflow sensor. And you'll hear a click when it's seated in place. And just reattach our clip. That's the hold down for the wiring harness. Okay, so done and done. Alright guys, that's all it is to it. Now you have the knowledge to replace your own transmission fluid filter on a 9th generation Honda Civic. It's not that bad, it's totally DIY. You just have to have a little bit of patience and some basic hand tools. And while you certainly don't need to replace this filter every time you do a transmission fluid exchange, it's not a bad idea to replace it every 100,000 miles or so. I'll leave a link to this OEM filter down in the description below, therefore you can get to replacing it and save yourself a ton as compared to taking it in to a shop. Thanks again guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Your viewership is what makes these videos possible. And speaking of videos, don't forget to check out this video I've got on the screen right now. This is the one to the transmission fluid exchange on this car that I did a while back. Leave a comment if you like and share your success story. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.